our database and our community build their own wealth plan. Okay. I'm going to scroll this down a little bit because I think this right here really just sets the stage for how we do this. Okay. And I'm going to break it down on each little segment, but I got a couple things I want to show you. So there's two parts to this conversation here. One is understanding the steps, as you see before you, on how to buy the 5 to 7 units in 3 to 5 years. And then the second thing, how do we bring these people together so that we can keep that connection? We do that through events. Okay. I don't think that's supposed to be up there. All right. So let's start. I'm going to show you, and we actually spoke on one of the breakouts this past family reunion, and we talked about our event where we kind of bring everybody together to talk about this plan, and it's called OwnerCon. So I'm going to play this video for you. It's really short. I'm going to play this video for you. Okay.
Okay.
We can do this one here. Okay, that's just a little taste of the event that we do. It's called OwnerCon. That's just a little taste of the event that we do that actually brings these different people into our lives. So we market and bring people in who want to grow their wealth through real estate. And so what I'm going to do right now is talk a little bit about OwnerCon Live, wealth building with your community. Okay, so we'll start this here, and then we'll come back to part 2 of that. Sounds like a plan, guys?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to skip some of this stuff because I got limited time with you, and I want to give you as much value as possible. But you'll see here are my partners. I'm the short one, but my other 2 partners, Harrison Beecher and Keith James. We started. You say what?
So cool. I said I'm fangirling. You guys are cool.
We try to be cool. And we started Coalition Properties in 2019, and just a little bit of what we call evidence of success. We started then. We closed basically right at $1 billion worth of real estate. We're actually approaching 2,000 units sold as well. So very, very exciting time for us, and a really cool reflection period as well. And so OwnerCon, we call it Building Wealth Together. Why OwnerCon? We then see spaces in our market teaching how powerful ownership is. So most people think of ownership and they talk about it from the perspective of, buy your home, a place for you to live. But we don't always talk about it from an investment standpoint. And we don't always remember to circle back with our clients to help them increase their net worth and their value. Gary Keller talks about this a lot. Jay Papasan talks about it a lot. There's the MREA, right? The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And then there's the MREI, Real Estate Investor. I'm sure you guys have seen or heard about that book as well, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's important to understand that after the MREA comes the MREI.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about OwnerCon is that we're making an event. And what I want to say to you guys is that the size of the event actually doesn't matter. We sell a lot of homes every year. So by default, our events are going to be a little bit bigger. But when I started events, some of my events were 5 or 10 people. And those actually work really well, especially if you're a solo agent. So if you're a solo agent and you have a solo agent business, you can still do these things. The key that's going to be is that you need to make sure you have the support system that you need. So trying to do an event as a solo agent, it could drive you crazy, especially if you're not an events person. Guess what? You guys have vendor partners. You have people that love you, would do some stuff and volunteer some time for free. Lean on your tribe. That's what we always say. Lean on your tribe to help you do these things. So what do consumers actually want? Consumers are overwhelmed. They're not underinformed. There's so much information out there right now. I mean, you're using ChatGPT or Gemini. You can go find anything you want, and there's information everywhere. It's information overload. And 62% of Americans believe home ownership is unrealistic due to market volatility. And that's based off 2026 consumer sentiment reports. Here is what you as a real estate professional can provide for your clients and other customers. Clarity. Give them a plan. Most people in life would love for you to just plan things for them. I mean, think about just life in general. You going out to hang out or going on a trip. There's usually one planner in the group, and everybody else is like, if you plan this trip, I'll show up, but I don't want to do any of the planning. And so if you take on the ownership of helping your clientele and your consumers, I'm referring to consumers, to people that are not your clients yet, okay? The consumers, you give them clarity on how they need to move forward. It gives them and you confidence on executing the play. And it also gives a path forward. So what we're trying to do, and coming back to this right here, this is your plan. So you want to talk about real estate, get them excited, and then once you sit them down for a buyer consultation, after your general buyer consultation, this is the type of conversation that we need to have. Mr. Buyer, I know you're a first-time home buyer. We're buying your starter home. But guess what? If you want real estate to be part of your wealth portfolio, let's put a plan. Let's put a 5 to 10 year plan together so that you can be a net worth millionaire in real estate. And you see how easy that was? That was just words, right? It was nothing crazy. It wasn't abracadabra. It's just words. And so it's not about changing the audience. It's just about changing the messaging. So after you give your clientele, because I know all of you guys have buyer consultations, right? And listing consultation packets, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so all you need to do is just add a little page at the end that gives the people a plan that creates confidence and a way to move forward. That makes sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to keep moving forward because I want to make sure I get time for Q&A at the end. Why wealth building education wins? Education builds belief, and belief builds loyalty. So if I'm the person that is introducing you and educating you about this belief system, you're going to have some semblance of loyalty to me. Now, it could be a little bit or a lot, but what it does is it gives me an opportunity to earn the right to be your agent. And why does this matter now? The market is noisy. The consumer is smarter. The bar is higher. There used to be a time where consumers couldn't find information without the agent, right? That was if you didn't have access to the MLS, you couldn't see where the homes were, right? And then what happened? Redfin came, Zillow came, homes.com is here. And now consumers can go on Google and now they're going on chat and asking chat all these different types of questions. So the market is noisier because the consumer hears all these different things in their ear and they're consuming all of this information. And it does two things. It makes them smarter, but it actually makes them dumber at the same time, right? Like, sorry, I'm very direct. So it makes them smarter in the sense they got a lot of information, but then how they apply the information, they don't do it right because guess what? They're not realtors, and a lot of them never did it before. So they're just it's kind of like theory versus application. I'll give you a simple example. I got a client right now, and he came to me with a plan. And his plan was he had some money in cryptos and he wanted to use it to buy a house in the school district so his kids can go to school. And he's been ranting about assumable loans. And he's saying, I want to go to the bank to see who can give me an assumable loan. Now, if you've been selling real estate, you know that's exactly how that works. But this client knew everything because he's smart. But at the same time, he's a little bit dumb. And so we have to break down some of these information overload packages that they have consumed, break it down and build it back up right for them. And that takes time. And so you got to be more patient with the client these days while they're being impatient with you. Okay? So they don't have time for anything these days, but you need to have time for them. But hey, if that's the way the game's got to be played, we're going to play it that way, okay? Most people are taught how to buy. Very few people are taught how to build. And that includes, I mean, that's from KW, but that includes wealth, that includes houses, that includes everything. So what we want to do is make big ideas accessible, complex concepts, plain language. And this is, by the way, guys, this is in reference to having an event around buying and building a real estate portfolio. So we want to take complex concepts and make it plain language. And that way, when it's very plain language, is easily understandable and have actionable items for the people there. And for our OwnerCon event, we actually love it because every year, some of the people that came last year, they show up again, and we get to see the progress that they've made between year to year. And they're actually the how do you say it? Like they are the 5-star review for us because they come back and then in our events that we have, they actually speak on panels and things like that. So I'll talk a little bit more about how to do the event in a minute. And I'll spend a little bit of time on that, but I want to spend more time on walking you through the process on how to get those clients to think about and buy more properties. And I'm flexible too. So you guys can tell me. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this for a second so I can see you. You guys can tell me. I can speak more about the event part of this, or I can speak more about converting clients during consultations to buy more properties over a period of time.
What do y'all want?
Converting them would get you there, right, to the event.
Well, sometimes you got to do marketing and prospecting and converting, right? So the marketing is going to get them to the event. The converting, the event helps them convert, but you can have conversion conversation outside of the event. All right, you don't have to wait till the event to say, hey, you need to buy more properties. You should have that conversation every time you have a buyer consultation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is talk a little bit more about the consult and maybe walk through how this works on the mechanisms of them buying more properties.
What y'all want?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, I hear one yes. I was making sure it's for the group.
Yep.
Quiet group.
Is this helpful so far, guys? I want to make sure this is good value.
Yes, you're right on, spot on, man.
Okay, all right. Make sure.
We
So,
just ate lunch.
what was that?
We just ate lunch.
Oh, okay. So you got
Fanning or something.
a little food coma going on there.
Really?
All right, let me get back to this for you. All right, we're almost done with this part right here. So, OwnerCon is an education platform, a community experience, and a long-term trust investment. When people go to OwnerCon, they trust you. And what you find is by inviting people to OwnerCon or an event like that, remember that this event doesn't have to be like our event, which is 100 or something people. You can have 10 people at your event and you can hand pick them.
Yep.
Bring 10 people in, have $500, get a lender to help sponsor it. Have somebody have a wills and trust estate person come. I mean, it can be super simple, but the value is the fact that you put the event together and the other people that are coming did not and didn't want to, but they will go because it benefits them. All right, this is a little small. Let me zoom this out some. Okay, here's how we do our event, and I'm wrapping this up. When we have our event that's a little bit bigger, we have breakfast and registration from 9 to 10. And we actually have this event in our market center. So just like you're in your training room right there, we just rent the market center or, whatever, how it was free or not, it's free in our market center. We just rent there. Yeah, we just rent the room there and we bring the people in and do our thing. So we don't spend, it's not a big financial lift from the venue or space perspective. We do welcomes, expectations. We introduce ourselves. We tell people what we do, why ownership matters, and why what we are excited to talk about or learn about for the day. We're a fun group, so we got music playing. We got a lot of energy. We got people having fun. You want to, nothing's better than making money and having fun. So learning about making money and having fun is kind of like our whole thing. So yeah, everyone introduces themselves and we make sure that the people there tag themselves on social media so that we can get some more buzz around the event. And then every year it gets a little bit bigger. And we have handouts for them for the day. The handout can be as simple as one page, just like the one you got today, right? It could be that simple, just one page. We usually bring in a speaker in some ways. This past year we did Anthony O'Neill. We brought him in. He's a financial freedom YouTuber / podcaster. And he has like 1 million followers. He's pretty popular. He's a Dave Ramsey guy, but kind of broke off from him. So just talking about fiscal responsibility, etc. Oh.
Do y'all charge for the event?
We actually do charge for our event. Yes, we didn't always charge for our event. We charge for our big 3 events, and mostly because we provide a lot of things there. So, like for example, our big 3 events, well, it's big 4. We have a holiday party every December. We have a brunch. Our brunch is actually next week. So brunch. We have OwnerCon, and then we have a VIP client boat party. The VIP client boat party is free for the VIPs, but everything else is paid for. So, OwnerCon is usually like $50 to $70 or something like that. But take that with a grain of salt because again, we're providing food, lunch. I mean, bar, like a mobile bar, drinking and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of charcuterie boards. I mean, it's kind of fancy, but that's like our clientele a little bit. Like they like nice things. So we try to put a little special touch on it.
Yeah.
So, OwnerCon, attain wealth, multiply wealth, protect wealth, build together, leave a legacy. So attaining wealth is the purchasing. Part of what OwnerCon, what they like about it is that we talk about multiplying the wealth. And OwnerCon, FYI, I didn't say this in the beginning. OwnerCon, the audience for OwnerCon, 90% of the people there, I would say 95% of people there already own a property. So we are helping them what to do next, because most people, once they buy a property, they just don't know what to do and they don't have a plan. They're just like, I guess I could buy another one. So you got the people who are just like, the personalities, just let me go buy another one, right? But all those other personalities, they still want to buy something too, but there's no plan and there's nothing behind it. They're super cautious or super steady. So they don't want to take that type of risk. So how do you help them overcome that? So this is one of the ways. We talk about how to multiply wealth, how to protect the wealth you have, how to increase the value of your assets, and then how to do partnerships and how to leave a legacy. All right. Keynotes are a key. People remember stories, so have stories in the event if you're having it. Keynotes create belief. That's why we bring somebody else in outside of us, because people want to hear from other people. You're never a prophet in your own land, so if you can bring another speaker, and that speaker, again, it's not about paying them or whatever. It could be someone that could benefit from having access to your audience, right? I really think like having conversations around wills, trusts, and estates is super valuable. I think that's a missed opportunity for a lot of people, especially if you want people to take equity from their current assets and buy other assets, or if they got to sell or whatever, right? Belief creates openness. So people will be very open in the room about what they're doing and what they're going through. This is just the fire that we had. And then just again, flyer. So just the OwnerCon host. Let me see this, sir. Okay. Who to engage? Lenders, bankers, developers, builders, like you see this right here. I don't have to read it out for you. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, I won't read it out for you because I believe you guys are really smart. And your clients' house hacking is one of the big things. We'll talk about that in a second. Nonprofits that house underserved communities. So depending on what your personal missions are, you might want to include some sort of community or nonprofit involvement in there, or someone that can come speak about it as well. But it doesn't have to be, if that's not your thing. Like you talk about wealth building, or you can talk about your choice, dealer's choice. Who to engage? Again, community lending institutions, city housing, basically who got the money. All right, who got the money? All right, and then who's helping other people? And I live in DC. It's a kind of a political place, so we like to know the local politicians. We try to get them to come in and talk about what's going on the political side of things, like how is this like zoning, community, like the actual economic development. We want to educate our base on those things, so when they're making decisions, that they have a macro view of what's going on in the community, and not just be very micro on like comps and sales and stuff like that. Like, where is this neighborhood going? Do you want to invest in this neighborhood long term?
Yeah, that's smart.
Okay, and then hopefully the people leave with clarity, some confidence, and some next steps. That's the goal. And what this does for your business, you should be building deeper relationships with people you already have them with. You should be building longer loyalty and creating better and easier conversations. You know, a lot of times we get caught in hey, I'm just following up. Just following up. Just following up. How you doing? You want some cookies? Just following up. And so how can we bring value to that person and not just depend on the personal relationship, but also a business relationship with them? If you can have both a personal and a business relationship with someone, it'll be more powerful, because they know when you call them with something good. And one of the reasons people pick up our phone calls is usually when we're calling, we're inviting them to something. Hey, come to our party, come to our holiday event, come to our VIP event. So these little events like this, when you have them frequently, like twice a year or two, I would say don't do more than like 4 big events a year. I would say probably stick to 1 or 2. When you're calling people, inviting them to events, they will pick your phone calls up more, which will make it easier for you to convert them for referrals.
Yeah.
Homeownership as a civic power. I think we talked about this, but yeah. So what I'll take a little bit of a pause and hear from the audience any ahas that you might have had coming from what we talked about so far, because then that will help us dictate the rest of the combo.
I do have a question. When do you put your past clients, like, I mean, obviously, if you're doing this the first time, you're not gonna have past clients to speak on a panel, but like, where does that come into play? Like after the keynote, before the keynote, like, what's that look like? The panel that you talked about?
Yeah.
Honestly, we're a little flexible because, like, for example, this past keynote speaker, he had to come speak and then catch a flight. So we were dictated around his schedule, you know. Another thing with the past client speakers, they help you bring more people in because now when you market them on social media and say, hey, so-and-so's coming, because you're going to market this, right? So-and-so's coming to the event. Here's our past client who's going to talk about how they bought 3 properties or 4 properties in the last 3 years. Come here. And, you know, the clients might know each other or they're familiar with each other, or at least they've seen them or heard about them or something, right? Like there's some type of familiarity. They're not like so separated from a keynote speaker that you might have. Like it's a more relatable person to you, which is why we do it.
Yeah, and you're probably giving them each marketing pieces, kind of like tailoring and like so-and-so speaking and blah, blah, blah. All right, cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Share with your whole audience that you're speaking on a panel, because some of these people that are speaking, they don't do this on an everyday basis. So like, oh, wow, you're speaking on this panel. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Come support me. Tickets are whatever, $40 or tickets are free. Come hear me speak. Right. And that just makes it's a multiplier effect on bringing the audience.
Yeah.
So how did all this start? How come to be? Was it one person's ideal, or was it few people came together with this ideal, the concept?
Yes. So it came together because we're always doing events, but we had like I would say it was kind of twofold. One part of it was that we already had our brunch event and our holiday party, and we were like, man, we always have these fun events, but like, can we have something a little bit more real estate focused? So we didn't have that, so we wanted a real estate focused event. And then there's this event called Invest Fest that happens in different places, but it's been in Atlanta last couple of years. And we were like, man, that's a pretty cool event. Can we do a small version of that in DC?
After how many events did you realize this thing was really taking off, or was it the first one you knew right away? Or
yeah, it's the first. Honestly, we do so many events, we can kind of get a feel from the first one. We'll know whether it's something we're going to stick with or not. But we kind of knew from the idea. We're like, you know what? That's going to work. So we had a feeling it was going to work even before we did. Like once the idea came.
Last question: when do you all introduce the Blue Book? Is it during the event or before the event?
Well, I like to introduce the Blue Book during consultations or kind of after someone's about to buy a home. I like to introduce the Blue Book then. Like it could be a closing gift or a little gift you give to them later on. Hey, so congratulations, it's your 3-month anniversary in the house. I hope you're getting all settled in. I want to drop a little book for you. This is one of my favorite books, and it's about real estate investing. And I'm hoping that this will inspire you to keep building your portfolio and building your wealth through real estate.
Okay. What's anybody else have questions before he continues?
Did he say the name of the book?
Yeah, it's Millionaire Real Estate Investor.
Oh, okay. I that was earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't know, it's glib.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Blue Book. Okay.
Yeah.
All understood.
There's all kinds of books. It's like red, blue, yellow, green. You know, they have so many books.
I just want to say hi, Ryan.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't know if you can see me. It's Heather, the Terrason's friend. So
No, I remember you.
okay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, so do you guys want me to just go ahead and keep going, or where you want me to?
I think so. Yeah, if you could, what were we transitioning now to, like the actual consultation?
Yeah, so the event.
So no more events. This is going to be a little bit about understanding the investor avatars.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
So here is, I'm just starting here, which is first you got to make the money. So if your clients are, wait a minute. Okay. Your clients buy their first home and then they got to buy a second home, right? They kind of got to have some money. So I always tell people, like, the first thing is, hey, you need a little money. There are people that come to you like, hey, man, I know there's no money down and blah, blah, blah. It's like there might be some opportunities there, but for the most part, if you are doing creative financing, there's a certain skill level you have to have that allows you to overcome not having the capital. And most people who have not bought a home or only bought one home don't have that skill level. Okay. So I'm gonna break this down for you so we just have the mindset piece. So first you got to make the money, time, cash, equity. All right. Then we got to spend the money. This is a higher level, not just real estate. This is how does money get spent? Money only gets spent 5 ways. You're gonna send it to real estate, you're gonna put it in your business, you're gonna put it in stocks, you're gonna put it in cash, or you're gonna give it. That's the 5 ways you can place your money.
Don't give it to the store every day.
That's on the expense side, but yeah, don't give it to the store every day. Let's make sure. I know if you're like, hey, I didn't. My friend said to me, she said, you know, Ryan, sometimes girl math is, I went to the store and I didn't spend anything, so I saved $80. I was like, okay, all right now.
Part for it all, y'all.
I did good. Okay, real estate has 4 advantages. So right now, what I'm teaching you is how to talk to people about investment real estate. Just FYI, okay, guys. And the first thing you got to start holistic, which is what I did. Is first you got to make the money, and first you're gonna spend time making money. You're gonna exchange time for money. If you have a W-2, you go to a job, and in return, you spend your time, and they give you money, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna get cash, and then you're gonna take that cash, and you're gonna buy an asset that creates either and or cash flow or equity. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. Money gets spent 5 ways. We just talked about that. I mean, not spent. Money gets invested 5 ways. You spend it how you spending is different. Okay. But invested 5 ways. 4 advantages of real estate is that you get cash flow, you get equity, you get appreciation, you get tax advantages. Does this sound familiar to you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I believe that simplicity and basics is Gary Keller would say that success is in the boring. So I believe that it's also in the simple. It's like the simple and the boring. So I know this might, if this is something you've seen before, just bear with me, but these are important principles. Okay. So what type of real estate investments can you do? Here are the basic 3. You can do flips, you can do single family home rentals, and you can do multifamily home rentals. Obviously, there's like commercials and stuff, but we're talking about like residential real estate, right? What type of investors are there? There are people who want to be active investors and people who want to be passive investors. Okay. So an active investor means that you are managing your own property, you are looking for your own property, etc. Passive means you just want to give somebody some money and make sure you bring all my money back I gave you, plus some, right?
Plus some. Emphasis on the plus some.
The plus some. Yep. So there's 2 types of investors. Now, the investment framework is as follows. You need to be able to find a property, evaluate it, finance it, renovate it, and manage. Now, if you're doing flips, you might sell it instead of manage it. But generally, you're going to do one or all of these things. You might find a property that doesn't need too much anything else, but you got to at least find it and evaluate it. You might pay for cash, or you don't need financing, or it might be renovated. You don't need to do that, or you know, whatever, right? Okay. How do you find deals for clients? Or sorry, how do you find deals in general? It can be from your clients. So this one client wants to buy a home, and you have this client over here that wants to sell a home. That makes it kind of easy, right?
Yeah.
You put them together.
Yeah.
You have peers. So the first thing, if I had a client that needed a deal, I'm trying to find deals for clients. Because again, when we talk about this plan for the clients, we got to go and help them find deals, right? So I'm walking through that a little bit. The first people I'm coming asking is your ALC. You guys are ALC. Hey, my client is looking for XYZ. We're looking for a 2-bed, 1-bath Rambler for under $125,000. What you got? Hey, keep that in mind for me, okay? If you find anything, call me. And then other investors. Now, the reason, again, I want to emphasize this. The reason I'm going to this is, if you talk through this beautiful plan, you see right here, right? And then the person says, okay, let's do this. Help me find a good deal. We need to define what a good deal is. So I'm breaking down some of the pieces that show you what a good deal is. Okay. How do you evaluate? Here are the mechanisms that you can evaluate. What's my cash on cash return? You guys ever heard of cap rate? People say cap rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's my capitalization rate? How much equity will I have in it? Can I use, what's the debt service coverage ratio? Because that's what banks are going to look at. What's the exit value? And then meaning what am I going to sell it for? So I can know how much I'm making, right? If I buy for this and I sell it for this is how much I'm making. And then what's the internal rate of return, which is fancy finance talk. All right. How do you finance a deal? Cash, personal bank loan, commercial loan, hard money, private investors, and owner financing. When you renovate, again, I'm just breaking this down. I don't know where the audience is, but I'm breaking this down. So when you renovate, you can either have a turnkey property where you don't do anything, something that's a light rehab, or you can do something that's a total gut. And then from managing, you can do property management, you can do self-management, or you can do asset management, which is you manage all of the assets, but you still have a property manager. All right, let's talk about actively investing. So active investing is buying a primary residence investing. There's long-term investing. There's vacation homes, and there's passive investing. So passive is giving you money, right? Primary resident investing, that's what we're going to actually focus on mostly. And then there's long-term investing, which is, hey, I'm staying in the home I'm at, but I'm going to buy a property over here, REI model, Blue Book model. Okay. And then some people like to do short-term, medium-term rentals, room shares. There's all kind of vacation home investing, where the financing makes sense. All right. We're not going to talk about passive investing because that's not what we're here for. A couple pro tips. Check your ego at the door. Okay. Because you might be good at real estate, but if you're not good at investing, go get good at it. Okay. Yeah, go get good at it, because what you don't want to do is screw yourself or screw your client. Right.
Right. Man.
Yeah. Stick to the numbers. If you don't know them, ask for help. I'll help you. Give me a shout. Anybody else that's in your office that does investments, they'll help you. Stick to the numbers and understand it. It's not emotional. We're trying to stay away from emotional decisions.
Man.
And in the end, do what's best for you. I bring that up because sometimes we do. I do quite a bit of speaking and teaching. And I think sometimes people get caught up in the big numbers that are in there, and that might not be for you. And guess what? That's okay. That's totally okay. Do what's best for you. if you're going to do single home investments and you say, hey, I just want 4 homes on a home that I live in and a couple investment properties, and life's good for me, do it. Love that for you. All right. So don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Really look inside of yourself and see what you want to do. Oh, thanks. Well, let's go. Let's go back here. Okay. This is what how much time do I got, Aaron?
You have 12 minutes.
Okay, cool. This is perfect. So let me walk you through this. In this little sheet right here, all you got to do, honestly, is make a copy of this and whatever your buyer presentation is and put it at the end. Okay. Like after that, you can do this. You can do one of two things. You can do it after they sign. You can do it before they sign, or you can do it after they buy. So I guess that's one of 3 things. That's going to be dependent on like your personality type. If you want to attract people who you want your clients to be like, hey, we're going to do this plan right here from the beginning, then that's great. If you already got a business that's going and you're like, I don't want to change my cadence too much, you can do it to them and say, hey, look, and just FYI, after we buy a home, here's what I think we can do. What do you think about this? All right. Or you can attach this little segment right here with the MRA book, put it in there with a little note, and this little bottom segment that you see right here, little page, and say, look, it's thinking about you. So it could be a little bit more passive. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk through this real quick. Do you guys have first time home buyer programs in
yes.
Okay. Do you need to like bring money to the table when you buy, or do people kind of come with no money down?
There's both. There's both.
Okay,
it
great.
Just depends on who it's backed by.
Yeah. Okay. So here is the plan. I'll just walk you through what we do here. We attract people because we talk about first-time home buyer programs, and we have a bunch of different type of ones over here. Sometimes they're grants, sometimes they're $30,000, $50,000. Sometimes they are no PMI, and they'll give you $5,000 closing with 100% down. All different types. But when it boils down to it, we know that it's somewhere between 0 and 3% down. You know, I always tell a client, man, that's a really high rate of return to be able to buy a 6-figure asset with, you know, less than $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start there and they say, well, why not? Maybe I want to put more money down. So you can totally do that. That's a great path. I believe in that too. If you want to, but I don't know how much money you're saving. So if saving money is a little bit hard because of your income, what we want to do is put the least amount of money out, because after you buy this first home this year, next year, what we're going to do is we're going to go leverage a FHA loan and buy a 2 to 4 unit. So now you go buy a $300,000, you know, triplex or fourplex, right? And now you put 3.5% down. Call it $300,000. Is that realistic in your area? I don't know if that's realistic. What would a multifamily cost?
That's all right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it just depends on the area. Yeah, it just depends. But yeah, you're about right.
Okay, great. So most people say they would have saved up $15,000, $20,000 to buy a home. Right. And they buy their first home and they only had to come out of $3,000. Now they got 18,000 left, right?
Mm-hmm. And
then they can keep saving that money as they're starting to build equity on the first home. And then next year they go buy a 4 unit and they move in a 4 unit. Now I'll tell you from a personnel type or avatar type, this works really well with kind of that young professional who doesn't have a lot of family obligations yet. They might be that recent college grad that wants to get rich, or that nurse who's like, oh man, I can house other nurses over here, right? In these multifamily. So I'm just showing you a little bit of the avatar that I've seen kind of fit into this, that really likes this. This is who they are. And so now you buy your $300,000 fourplex and you got to bring $15,000 to the table. So now with $20,000, you've bought 2 properties over 2 years. That makes sense?
It does.
Yeah. And so now we bought those 2 properties, and guess what? The key is you can't stop moving. We're going to be like Nemo. Just keep swimming. You got to be like a shark. Got to keep swimming. Okay. Because then 1 to 2 years later, hopefully your income is increasing. You got some money, extra money, cash flow coming in because you got a multifamily property and you got your first home and you're cash flowing some money over here. And now you can go save the money you had been saving that you were already spending on rent or mortgage, and pair that with the cash flow you're getting from your investments. And guess what? Now you can buy a new primary residence with 5% down. Right?
Wait, are they living in after the first home, are they living in the multifamily or no?
Yeah, they're living in a multifamily. And so
Okay.
the reason I do this way, and listen, this is not like it doesn't have to just go this perfect route, okay?
Right.
But the reason we do it this way is because we have programs where they're usually 0% out of down with their first property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then that means they came out of no money. And so
Yeah, right.
yeah, and then so then they go to the next property. It's a multifamily, so they move in the unit for 1 year because that's all you have to do.
Right.
And then the
3.5% and then go. Okay, got it. I'm following.
Yep. And then the next year you do this, you just buy another property. And so now in 3 years you would have bought 3 properties and you would have up to 6 units, right? Now you say, okay, great. I want to go get a house on the lake. I'm feeling good about myself. I got a little money coming in. Well, depending on what part of the cycle, the lending cycle you get, sometimes like when things are tight, they make you put more money down. Okay. But when things are a little loose, I mean, people are buying vacation homes with 10% down. So now you got some money coming in. Now you can get your vacation home and you can do it with short-term or medium-term rentals. Obviously, you need to do your due diligence to make sure it cash flows or you're willing to, or it's reducing the expense of it. You're willing to take that risk, right? So it's just, again, another opportunity. You can keep buying multifamilies or you can stop at your third primary, your third property and your primary residence. If you want to keep going, you can buy a vacation home if you want. Okay. And then the last thing is you can invest with partners. So now you got some cash flow. At some point, everybody gets tired of personally managing real estate. And that's why I showed you that other slide. It's like, all right, you property manage. So now you get a property manager and you can buy some more. And at some point, they might get tired of managing the property manager, but they still want to make money from real estate. So you as the agent have the opportunity, because you're boots on the ground, you're meeting sellers, you're meeting investors, you have the opportunity to go out and find deals and now partner with your clients. And now you're both getting in on the wealth building together. And that's how you can do that in 3 to 5 years.
Beautiful.
I like that. Especially leveraging the fact that they bought the first house with no money.
Yeah,
They
right.
got nothing in it, right? Plus they're in an equitable position.
Exactly.
And then making the next purchase, leveraging the FHA loan on a multifamily. Come on.
Yeah.
It's smart. Yeah.
So they're getting their first one on the conventional.
Yeah, that's that. Usually that's that 100%. A lot of time is that conventional.
That.
Yes.
Yeah, most of the time it's a lot of times you can do a conventional with the right credit score, right? So,
yeah.
And I would say, I tell my clients, I was like, look, if you want to do it this way, just get your credit right and get your money in. I mean, buy this conventional one first, and then do the FHA on the second one. Okay, don't waste your FHA on a single family home if you can help it.
That's good content material, isn't it?
Yeah, you just secured 7 deals and 5.
Yeah.
That's like
Leverage that.
crazy.
Yeah.
You have a client that's buying and your pipeline is full every single
Yeah.
Every single year. So now what's the cool thing about it, right? Say you sold 10 homes this year, right?
Mhm.
And then you have 5 of your even three people committed to following this plan.
Mhm.
Next year, if you can generate 10 on your own, plus you got another 3 coming, now you're at 13.
Mhm.
And that's just a repeat client.
Yeah.
And I imagine that builds on that's momentum, because they're going to tell other people about what they're doing.
There you go. And now that thing is moving, and you need to stay up with the momentum. Yep.
Right. Stay up with the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I like this. Love it.
All right.
Anybody else? Questions?
Yeah, if you got questions, I know I got a couple minutes if you need to go over, if you got a roll. But I'm here and I'm trying to be helpful and bring some value to you guys.
Thanks.
How do we refer business to you, Ryan?
Absolutely. You can reach out to me directly with my cell phone number. Also, love for you guys to follow us on social media as well. So my cell phone number is 720-530-4729. Shoot me a text. Say hi. So that's 720-530-4729.
All right. One last thing. What book should we read? What podcast should we listen to? What should we be putting into our minds?
Yeah. Man, I'm so
yeah.
I think, yeah, I know. So I'm all over the place a little bit with books. I'm reading myself right now, the Rookie Real Estate Agent by Jay Papasan.
I'm reading that too.
I mean, it's such a good book because I just always believe that, like, I was an athlete in college and high school, and basics wins championships most of the time. It's just sticking to the basics, not trying to be too fancy, just doing the basic thing, but just doing it at a high level. And so I'm always about the Rookie Real Estate Agent. I would read The One Thing Again. I would do that. There's a book that I have right here. Hold on, let me grab it.
Great.
Some people struggle with being too quote unquote salesy. FYI, you see I got my OwnerCon shirt on right now. Brick by brick.
Love it.
There's a book called Too Nice for Sales.
Barry Jenkins. All right.
Barry Jenkins is awesome. He's out of Virginia Beach, friend of mine, and he wrote this book, A Practical Guide to Ethical Lead Conversion. And so, he's a really nice guy, and I know some people are really nice. They struggle to sell real estate, and so if that's your personality type, it might be good. Might be a good book for you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Your new referral partner. All right. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys
Bye.
have a great day. Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
Bye.